The Mallorca 312, 312 kilometres, 4,500 metres of climbing in a single ride. It's a savage test even for experienced cyclists. Can our beginner, Freddie, who only properly started cycling less than a year ago, complete it? After putting him through an intense Wahoo system training plan, it's time to find out.
I'll be honest, I've blown my doors in. It's like being back on Cabana down, chasing Ollie again. I wasn't prepared for this mentally.
Over the course of this series, a few of you have been commenting that Freddie is no longer a beginner. Well, less than a year ago, he appeared in our beginner versus amateur versus pro video, where he definitely was. Since then, he's got bitten by the bug of cycling and got a lot fitter and lost a considerable amount of weight. But although he's worked hard and improved, he's very much still a beginner, and this is his first ever event. He's not even ridden up or down a mountain before, and it's by no means certain that he'll be able to complete this. I'm pretty experienced though, so I'm going to do my best to try and help him, and I'll be his domestique.
It's 6 a.m, we're on the start line. It's about to begin. How are you feeling, Fred?
I've never been so excited and nervous ever in my life. I can't believe this is happening.
We're going to do it?
Yeah, go on.
Smash it.
Ese pequeño embudo que tenemos con ese mega piloto que enseguida va a comenzar a rodar en esta...
I don't know if you can see this, but I'm currently on the first climb. Now I must admit it's quite demotivating because we keep getting overtaken by people, but King Ollie has told me I need to pace it. So just going to chill out and follow the process.
The first leg of the ride took us through Porta Palença and then up the first climb, the Col de Femenya, with a beautiful sunrise.
Here he is, pacing it like a champ. This is incredible riding on these closed roads. It's magic, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's like a dream. It's honestly amazing.
We're coming up to the first feed station now, which is at 50k, but we're not going to stop there. We got enough food and we plan not to stop there to save time, try and help Freddie make the cut-off.
I think I maybe went a little bit too hard at the beginning.
You didn't?
I didn't, did I?
No. It's got to be hard. It's meant to be hard.
But yeah. Sorry if I'm a little quiet.
That's all right.
Whoa, look at that. Leading up to the event, I did not know what to think. It was so busy right up to the race itself. I remember I had so much to sort, and that included sort of getting the kit sorted, getting the bike sorted, and actually flying out there and sorting everything out once I was there itself. The only time it properly hit me was when I was stood on the start line with Ollie, thinking, what the hell am I just about to do?
We're just coming to the top of the highest point in the ride, the top of Puigmayor, where we then have a 14 kilometers of descent. This is going to be the first big sort of mountain descent proper that Freddie's ever done. But he's going well so far, and we're getting overtaken by lots of people still, about 55 kilometers in, but we're sticking to the plan. It's going well. You feeling good, Fred?
Hell yeah!
After Freddie's first bout of climbing, we descended Puigmayor, heading towards the town of Soler. As incredible as these descents are, Freddie still has around 4,000 metres of climbing still remaining in this epic sportive.
Freddie's doing well. We're 76 kilometres in, just over 3 hours. We're making pace, and if he can keep this pace up, we should make the time cut. But he is telling me he's starting to feel fatigued and his calves are starting to ache. So hopefully he can keep going. We're on the beautiful coastal road now that goes around the southwest corner of the island. We've just gone through Dea and we're heading towards Andrax. It's up and down, isn't it? Attritional, but Freddie's doing good. We're on target pace at the moment. The pacing strategy's working, and we should make the first time cut.
Suffering. You?
Almost over.
Yeah, oh wow.
We've got nice downhill.
Yeah.
Freddie's rate of progression is absolutely phenomenal. Like, fair play to the lad, because when we did that first video, there is no way he would have been capable of this. He wouldn't have been capable of a 100-mile hilly ride, let alone this with all the mountains and just the length of it. He's really impressing me. You know, we're about a third of the way through now, and he's finding it hard, but he's digging in. I think he's going to be all right.
You wonder why I'm struggling to speak? It's because this is honestly the hardest 90k I've ever had to do in my life. And I got to do it all over again.
You don't. You've done loads of climbing. We're more than a third in. You've got this.
I couldn't do it without him, to be honest. I'm very thankful he's here.
Yeah.
I feel bad slowing him down.
No, don't be silly.
We made the first cut-off point at 100 kilometres. Freddie was going well, but I could tell he was starting to feel it.
I'm excited, I finally got some food and I made the cut-off. Now the next one is 200k. That's the next task.
You've made this cut off, yeah. Right, we've got to make the next one now. What's that? Is that my sandwich? Yeah. Right, here we go then. One of the key things which I've banged on about before when you do a long endurance ride like this is pacing, and Freddie's doing really well at that. So a lot of people, they get caught up in the excitement of being in a bunch, being in a big event, closed roads, and you know, they go far too hard. But if you're going at a fast pace on the first climb, ask yourself, is this the pace that I'll be going at on the last climb? And if it's not, then you're going too fast. But so many people get it wrong, and you know, now we're 113 kilometers in, so over a third of the way, and myself and Freddie, we're now starting to overtake people, which is good. So Freddie's just up ahead. I'm just going to go and get back to him now.
Living the dream! Speed stop sorting me right out. It's all character building stuff, eh?
So to try and help Freddie, I'm giving him a wheel to sit on, which doesn't give too much benefit on the climbs, but at least I can pace him with power and make sure he doesn't go too hard. And then I'm also just making sure that he eats and drinks at the right times and constantly, as you need to keep fueling in a ride like this. And then I'm guiding him sort of down the descents. And then where I'll really be able to help him the most is in the second half of the ride. So most of the climbing's in the first 150k, And then the next 150k is relatively flat. And that's where I can give him a wheel to sit on and help him if he starts to get tired. This is sensational. Absolutely stunning. And the sun's coming out. Oh.
I think the first moment I questioned whether I could do it was when I stood on the start line. And I can remember looking around and seeing these super skinny cyclists, and I sort of looked at myself and I thought, I'm not a bike rider, I'm not a cyclist, I shouldn't be here. And I just started getting into my own head. And then 3-4 hours into the ride, I saw the elusive polka dot jerseys behind me. The green polka dot jersey guys are effectively like a super crew of the event. And they set out exactly the right speed to hit all the time cuts. If you follow those guys, you will make all the time cuts and you will make the final time. So when I got overtaken by them, and they're known to be like the easiest group to keep up with, and I was struggling, and yeah, I just fell into, like, to be honest, a really dark hole. And I remember the video creator asked me at the time, what are you doing this for? I just broke down, I could hardly speak. And that's when I realized that this wasn't just a race for me, this was a lot more than that.
See, I'm doing 300 watts, man. Come on.
The pacemakers are just behind me. I just got a bit ahead of them on the descent. Freddie's with them, but bless him, he's just said he feels like he's worried he's going to let me down. Why are you not going to let me down, Freddie? You're a hero. You're like trying the best you can. And I think it's easy to forget, like, where, you know, you get fit, but you always compare yourself to people that are fitter than you, and you forget how far you've come. You know, I get that all the time when I compare myself to someone like Si or Hank. But yeah, don't give yourself a pat on the back. Don't forget where you've come from. You should be proud of yourself. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, he's here. What? Just ridden ahead of the bunch that Freddie's in to the feed station so I can beat the queues and then fill up his bottles for him, get him some food so I can make his stop as quick as possible. Try and help him out. A chocolate sandwich.
Legend, thanks. My years at uni are coming back to me.
Three years ago, I went through one of the toughest things I've ever had to go through, and that was really bad depression, where I honestly considered ending it all. And so yeah, this is why now I want to prove to myself that I'm not weak and that anyone could do this that struggles. So that's why I'm doing it. In 2018, I hit a really dark patch of depression. I was very overweight, I was eating a lot, I was drinking a lot, and I just hid away from society for weeks, and if not months on end. I started taking anti-anxiety medication, which I abused, started taking 6 times over the legal dose. And that's when things got really bad and I started self-harming. After a couple of months of this, not seeing any end in sight, it wasn't until my family found out about it that I realized things need to change. And it wasn't for anyone to fix but myself. And I remember throwing away the anti-anxiety medication, threw away the drink, started eating properly, and I just became obsessed with learning about how to better myself and how to get out of this, because I realized it's not that I just didn't want to live, it's just I didn't want to be in pain anymore. And that's when I started going to the gym. I picked up cycling, and I can remember I could only cycle about, what, 10K? And I was wrecked. I was very overweight at the time. But slowly, I still felt terrible, but slowly every week, every ride, I was just feeling just like 1% better. And I realized it was just a very simple formula. If I treat myself right, I eat correctly, I don't abuse drink, I exercise, I meditate, I will feel good in turn. It was a very simple formula, and that's just what I dedicated 2 years to. Also went into therapy, started seeing people, getting out of the house, just experienced the fresh air, and slowly but surely I got better.
At 130 kilometres in, we approached the last significant categorised climb. But the second half is generally flatter, but there's still some serious climbing in there, and it's going to push Freddie's endurance and mental strength to the limit.
Just trying to keep a good pace on the front. You just got to be careful when you're doing this, because I know he's on his limit, I know he's struggling. And this road's mostly flat, but there are a few little risers. And those little undulations, if I just go, 20 watts too hard on them, that's what can put him in trouble. So I'm keeping an eye and just trying to really make it as easy for him as possible.
Everything's sore. How I prepared for the event was just simply going on Wahoo SYSTM, selecting a training plan and sticking to it religiously. The only thing that was different is I did it in 7 weeks as opposed to designated 10 weeks, and that's just simply because I was suffering with illness and I had other life stresses that got in the way. I recently looked back at the numbers, and this equated to a total of 76 hours of riding, 1,922 kilometers, and just shy of 200,000 calories consumed. It was actually really interesting because not only was I cycling on time, I also got to learn about how to do yoga, did some strength work, which I'm a big fan of, and did a lot of mental resilience training.
With 70 kilometres to go, we managed to form a small group to ride with. The roads were now eerily quiet, and we worked out that we were the last group on the course. Would Freddie make it? I wasn't sure. The sun was going down, he'd gone very quiet, and he was really suffering.
So trying to make the time cut now to the finish line. I'm pretty confident we are the last people on the road. We got to the last feed station and it's pretty dead. I mean, there weren't many people there. We've got a group of guys we can ride with, but they're a bit up ahead. I'm just trying to keep Freddie going, but he's digging in like a trooper. These little bergs really start to sting when you're as tired as he is. Come on, Freddie. You're doing well, mate.
Struggling to talk, sorry.
He's gonna do it, we're gonna finish, but it'll probably be in the dark. But we should make the cut-off. I'm so proud of him. Mate, that's amazing. Honestly, mate, that's such an amazing effort. I'm so proud of you. Because I know how hard you were finding that, especially like the last 100 kilometres. Like, phenomenal effort.
Honestly, couldn't have done without you. Thank you so much.
Anytime, mate.
I'm honestly immensely proud about my mental health struggles now, and I'm super honest with anyone and everyone I talk to, because I think in some way everyone struggles a little bit. And it sounds funny, I'm really happy I went through that experience now. It's never going to go away, but it's just taught me so much. And that's why now, when I'm always saying, it's like my catchphrase, I'm living the dream, because I am living the dream. Having gone to such a dark place, now just I appreciate everything. And here I am. Like, if someone said to me 3 years ago, yeah, you'd be working on GCN making these videos, I just wouldn't have believed it. It's insane. So I'm literally the luckiest man alive.
There you have it, the 312. Freddie's conquered it. If you've been inspired by this guy's heroic ride, then please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up to see more content like this. We're gonna go get some beers now, mate. That's what you do.
Thanks, Ollie.
We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Still stretching around in the same old way, half the world away, half the world away. Hey, bamboleo, bamboleo. Yoo-hoo!